Hey, mini fish. July 1st, 2017. Shabbat Shalom. And what started this little supernatural journey was an article I came across in the New York Times yesterday. A college town gets ready for its moment under no sun. And it goes over this college town in Carbondale, Illinois, and how they are going to be the proud people in the crosshairs of these two upcoming major eclipse events. One in August coming up and one in April of 2024. And I thought it interesting, and I've done videos on the eclipse before. I know that it's significant in many ways. In fact, I would really highly recommend that you go and look at a video I did just a month or so ago. And the name of that video is Eclipse 2017, Lucifer's Grand Entry. And I show you clearly that NASA's own graphics that they use on their website, when you manipulate them through some filters, they show a dead sheep in the upright position. There's the sheep. Please watch the video, as well as Lucifer when it's turned upside down. It's just that simple. There he is, as plain as day. So, that being said, NASA's involved, and they're setting up shop right there at Southern Illinois University. And I want you to pay attention to a little piece of information they want to share with you when you click on their little Satan symbol here. They say, if you want signs and wonders, NASA's Edge has you covered. Now, it's so important to remember that, because Satan can use these things for his agenda. These eclipses and these astronomical things, it can in fact be manipulated and utilized by the dark side. It's just that simple. So I take my Google map here, my little beast map. Don't forget, this Google Earth here is a total creation of the beast. It's in the system. It's part of it. But it's his place where he gets to show off his little vanity monuments and his little mathematical tricks and things like I'm about to show you. You can't make this stuff up. And again, it's to illustrate. You live in a prison, an illusion. Your flesh is a lie. And all it does is lead you into darkness. You need to turn from that flesh, because we go into Carbondale, Southern Illinois University campus here. That's what this is. Here's their big old quad here, where they all gather and talk about social justice and whatnot. And they have a nice big pentagram right in the middle of their quad. That's what it is. It's a pentagram. And so that's, of course, where I'm going to take all my measurements in Lucifer's little puzzle here. And I can go with any one of these measurements I'd like. I mean, we could start with the totality of the entire eclipse, which is this line right here. That's the totality from coast to coast, where land meets water. And that's 2,520 miles. And if you know your Bible at all, 2520 is 7 360-day biblical years. You cannot make that stuff up, and you know it. And it doesn't end there. It never ends there. We could take half of that dimension. We could go half from the center of the pentagram till we meet the water out there. And that one is a total of, right there, 1,862 miles. Which is, oddly enough, my wonderful wife sent me a link to the Google Doodle of yesterday, the same time this article came out. And it's of Victor Hugo, and what a lovely, holy looking picture that is. And it's talking about yesterday was the day that his novel, Les Miserables, was released. And Les Miserables was pretty hardcore, and it was all about social injustice, redemption, and revolution. That's just one thing I can connect to that. we can take from our pentagram, dead center, and go on the path of the eclipse to the border of Maine and Canada. And what do we have there? Let's find our line right there. And you cannot make this up. That, my friends, is exactly 1,260 miles, which is half of 2520. That's 3.5 years. I could keep going. Let's go from the center of our pentagram till we meet the sea out in South Carolina. That would be this line. That is 645 miles. Well, what does that mean? Well, that's exactly half of 1,290. What's 1,290? Well, in Daniel 12, verse 11, chapter 12, verse 11, Daniel, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. And I mean, we can go on and on and on. It's just amazing the connections that we find here. And you simply cannot make these things up. So I'm going to keep digging on this and show you just the depth of how this earth is laid out as a giant lie and deception to convince us that our flesh is all there is, and we've got to just live for the pleasure of the flesh. We've only got a short time. Well, let me tell you, folks, it's time to get your spiritual house in order, because this is all supernatural and it's all going down. Oh, and one last thing. The time between this eclipse and this eclipse, between the August 21st and the April 8th, is 2,422 days. Matthew 24:22. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. I pray that you are one of the elect. And if you don't know Jesus, get a Bible, seek down in that pit in your belly, because you know you have a soul. You know you hate the wicked and darkness of this earth. That's the enmity that the Father put there so that you could recognize it and turn from it and see His glory. Peace and grace, many fish.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armour of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armour of God,